Okay. Hi, everyone. Not really even sure where to start from today, but I thought I would talk to you about the cost of a murder. There's a lot of costs. There's a lot of emotional costs. I'm not going to cry. There's financial costs. There's psychological costs. There's emotional costs. But like as another mom who lost her son and is going through something similar to me, and also another one too whose son was shot the same day that Adam, where the police went to Adam's house, and he died 3 days later. But Adam was deceased, found on December 23rd. And so I want to talk to you about these investigators, or these police, or law enforcement, whatever you want to call them. You know, do they have some sort of training to basically, for people who've lost their loved ones, whether it's due to murder or they're missing, are they trained to emotionally destroy them and financially destroy them and psychologically destroy them? Like this investigator Staley, who only became an investigator in July of 2024. Tells me I don't have a relationship with my son. Well, clearly he's mistaken, because if he ever spoke to anybody, he would know it is definitely not true. Financially, so I'm going to show you. And emotionally, it's really heart-wrenching to hear someone say those things. And then when you ask them about data for electronic data, and they tell you, oh, that's just something on TV, that's not in real life. And then they tell you you can have your son's electronics, or what they have that wasn't stolen or missing or whatever happened in that house, and they tell you, okay, you can have them, but then they won't give them to you, which is what he did. And then you ask him to go look at the video at Toyota when he left for a family emergency, and he says, well, I'm not wasting time looking at any of that. You can look at it if they'll let you. Then I asked him to go look at 2 other transactions that were done that would show camera footage, and he didn't want to go look at them either. So like, what is his job? Like, what is he doing? I know he didn't even interview these roommates. He didn't even interview them. Maybe at a later date he might have done something, but I don't see anything telling me that he did anything. So where does he come up with this suicide without facts? And what the hell is a suicide without facts? I mean, is this to mentally, make me go through more agony than I'm already going through? Is that his job? Because I've talked to the other 2 moms, and they got treated similarly, and they had good relationships with their children. And basically, you don't know your child, you have nothing to do with him. And then all these ridiculous stories, these hypotheticals that I keep getting told, and none of them are true. There's nothing true behind them. And to even try to get the footage, pictures of my deceased son, has turned into this big traumatic thing where I'm trying to, over and over again, I'm on the death certificate. That should say plenty that I'm his mother, and I still have to go get these things notarized and then pay them on top of it to get these. And then they're not done right. Then I'm still trying to get them. And to this day, I still have not received all of the pictures. It's like they're purposely trying to prevent me from having this, because it's clear I've already figured it out. And even a blind person and somebody probably, who has no clue on left and right, can figure it out, because the evidence is that clear of exactly what happened and exactly who murdered my son. And on top of it, the body cam footage. So I asked for this body cam footage, and at first I get told that that body cam footage is going to, first of all, just the 911 tape. I'm not going to show you all of it because it has my personal information on it. Just the 911 tape is going to cost me $34. Okay, so my son dies, and I want information to help me understand things better, and you want to charge me $34 for that. Then I was told that it was going to cost $675.80 for this body cam footage, which it was going to take them 27.25 hours just to figure out what they need to take out that I shouldn't see. So it was going to take them that many hours at $24.80 an hour, and it was going to take 1 to 2 weeks. Now that same footage, all of a sudden, it's going to take 29.25 hours, and it's going to cost me, which I already paid them a while ago, I'd rather not disclose the dates, $725.40 I paid them. And that's just the sheriff's office. Besides all the other things that I'm having to deal with paying for to get things done. You know, I don't understand this. You lose your child. You have this tragedy. And then they punish you. And now, since my son's been gone, it's been really hard to function and focus and do things. So making an income is like almost impossible at times. And now I've had to ask people for the first time in my life to help me. I set up a GoFundMe so I can get a private autopsy for my son and get him exhumed. How awful is that? I laid my son to rest, and he can't rest, and I can't rest. I just simply want closure. Are these people trained to make us hurt more? Is that what they're trying to do? To financially and emotionally injure you, not just to make you go through agony. And that one at the medical examiner's office, you know, changing stories and twisting my words around. How about you do some good old-fashioned investigating and listen to all the leads that I'm giving you and all the evidence I'm showing you? You know, is it just easier for you to close the case? I mean, I know this area is so focused on getting tourism. You can still get your tourism, but why would you give families like me more pain and more agony and no justice for the victim who didn't ask to be killed? And you let these murderers walk free. You know they're going to kill again. I know they will. And you rely on people like the Staley who says, I'm going to rule it a suicide without facts. And I'm like, you can't do that. I said, you can ask 100 people and they'll all tell you Adam didn't do this to himself. He's like, I don't care. I could do that. I don't do homicides. Okay, well, the only thing that came out of me complaining about that is his superiors were upset with the fact that I told them that he said he doesn't do homicides. Well, those are words that he uttered. I didn't utter those words for him. And apparently he chooses not to or cannot do homicides. Well, they need to give me a different detective and get this going and put those people away before they kill somebody again. What's the sheriff's office going to say then? And this medical examiner, she's just completely a joke. She has people who just don't do any work. They're always on vacation. This is horrible. This is abuse. This is horrible. And this is abuse. And this abuse needs to stop. And the sad thing is, the other two families that I spoke to, they had identical things done to them by the law enforcement and the coroner's office. Everybody not doing their work. What happened to justice? What happened to investigators that are supposed to investigate? We have a right to have closure as families who've lost. The other two families that I spoke to, they lost their sons. I lost my son. And maybe somebody else lost another member of their family. But why would these law enforcement and coroners and all these people victimize them again and again and again? Why? We need to understand if they have training for this, and this needs to stop. And Sheriff, you need to listen to this. I mean, I was told by your staff that you don't deal with this. You have nothing to do with investigations. As far as I know, you're the sheriff and your name's on that building and you're in charge of everything, so I'm not quite sure how that's possible. But this is total injustice, and this is very painful, and it's not helping anyone. So if these people are being trained to hurt people, please don't hurt the victims. We're victims too. We lost. I lost my son. And why am I being victimized? Because I lost my son and someone did this to him? This is wrong. This is wrong. Now, what justice needs to be served for not only the person who was murdered, but their family? This is horrible. There's enough financial strain. What is the sheriff's office going to get out of getting $800 from me? For what? Putting stuff on a USB? But now they have to go through it. So originally it was 1 to 2 weeks. Now it's 16 to 20 weeks to press a button to put it on a USB. This is shameful. This is wrong. These issues need to be dealt with. Everyone, please post your comments and let me know what you think.